Hello, if you are watching this video, that means you have chosen to do the Regional Issues paper for EDE 201. This video is just to basically summarize the assignment sheet on Blackboard so you can hear it in a little bit of a different way. So this is intended to help you as you prepare for your assignment, which is due at the end of the semester. So basically the regional issues paper is a research paper. You're going to be responsible for picking one region of the world. This could be a particular country. It could be a group of countries. You won't want to pick something that's a region that's too broad because you won't really be able to examine issues. The issues might be very large. For example, if your region is South America, that might be really hard for you to examine 3 issues because those issues can be seen very different ways across that whole continent. But you could choose, for example, Colombia. That would be one particular country that you could examine. An example of a little bit of a bigger region is you could look at, East or West Africa, for example. That's a group of several countries, but you might be able to discuss the issues a little bit deeper with a smaller region. Choosing all of Africa will be much more difficult. So that's your first step, is to choose a region of the world that you would like to examine much more closely. You're going to write a research paper then about a variety of different women's issues in the region. So you're choosing one place and looking at several different issues in that particular place. So that's the first step. Choose a region or a country of the world. You cannot choose the United States. I should be pretty clear on that. So then what you're going to need to do is collect a lot of research on a variety of different women's issues in the region. I want you to pick at least 3 different issues. So these can be things that we've discussed in class, like human trafficking, sex trafficking, that can be one issue. Maternal mortality, that can be another issue. Lack of education in the region could be another issue. Anything else actually that you have learned about. Female genital mutilation we read in the last chapter. Even if we didn't talk about it as much in the course, you can still pick it, but I want you to think of 3 different women's issues, and then you're going to try to investigate and do some research about what these issues look like in the place that you chose. Because this is a research paper, you need to really expand on research. You're needing information from at least 3 to 5 research articles, or books, or websites, or interviews. I'm not too particular on that they have to be this many articles or this many books, but your collection of research should be at least 3 to 5 different sources. You'll probably have more. When you're choosing these sources, pay attention to who's writing them, especially if you're getting them from internet websites, right? Review the author, make sure that you can sort of avoid bias from the author, and paying attention to the credibility of the sources. The U of M Flint Library is a great place to go. People can help you there, direct your search to find the books or articles that you might need. Google Scholar is another great place to start with articles anyway. You're also welcome to use any of the course materials that we have, but that won't be enough to just use the course materials. You do need to seek some outside sources as well. But you can use the core. You can use Half the Sky. You can use some of the articles that we've written, but you'll need to go above and beyond that for your research. So this will take some time. So when you're trying to plan out how long this is going to take you to write your paper, make sure you factor in the time to find the research, to read it, to pick out the important parts of the research. Okay? Then you're going to sit down to write. Your paper needs the following things, and these are all on Blackboard, so you don't have to totally listen to me talk. You can pull up the Blackboard assignment sheet, and that'll help you figure this out as well. But basically, you're going to need to write about 4 different things. Okay. Now I say that your paper has to be roughly 4 to 5 pages. I really am looking for whether or not you address these 4 things with sufficient enough detail. If you do, it'll definitely be long enough. Don't worry about that. But that is what you should focus on. Not so much the length, but did I cover all of these things in sufficient enough detail? The first thing is you need to give an overview of the demographic information from the place that you chose. Tell me a little bit about women there. What is the maternal mortality rate? What is the population of the region that you're in? Where is it located? These are some simple statistics that you can find, and that can be one of your sources that you include. But tell me a little bit about the region, where it's located, what's the population, maybe even a little bit about the economic opportunities there. For example, like what do they trade, what do they produce, what's their gross national product, just some basic underlying information about the region. That'll show me that you have at least taken the time to figure out what's going on there in that place that you chose. Then the bulk of your paper, or one part of your paper, will be a description of the 3 issues that you chose in that particular region. So let's say you choose human trafficking, maternal mortality, and the lack of education in the area for girls. Okay, so that's 3 issues. That's great. That'll be 3 significant chunks of your paper. You're going to describe those issues and how they are impacting women in that country. That's a big piece of it. So it's not enough just to tell me what human trafficking is, because we all, we know that. I want you to tell me how human trafficking is impacting women in that particular place that you chose to research. Okay, so that'll be the description. Then, this is the big important part of your paper, is that you need to reflect on some practical solutions that could be taken to address these issues. Okay, so some people in the past have organized this very differently. So some people will take their 3 issues and they'll describe it and then put solutions. And then they'll talk about their next issue, describe it, then pick a solution. You can do that. Some people have just said, okay, here's the description of all 3 issues, and now here are the solutions. But each one of the issues needs your opinion about solutions that could be taken to address the issue. So you're probably thinking, I don't know, how would I possibly know solutions? How do I know how to fix the problem? Well, you know that from what you've read. In the articles that you read, other authors will provide solutions. Which ones do you agree with? Which ones do you think will work? Talk about that. Say, this author thinks that this solution will work. I agree, because all of these opinions of yours will have to be based on the evidence from what you have read. Okay, so that's actually, you want to pull that in. You want to make that a piece of it. Again, it could be things in the course that we've read, and probably most of that will come from the other articles that you have. Okay, you do need to address somewhere in your solutions the role of education, how education can help that solution. Right? So we might talk about, if you were discussing human trafficking, you might talk about how keeping girls in school might keep them from being trafficked in the future. Where did you read that? Think about, where did I read that piece? Okay, yeah, it was here in this article. Great. So you'll put that in your paper. You'll say one possible solution is keeping girls in school will keep them from being trafficked, and then you'll cite the source. So that's how you're going to talk about your solutions. Okay? So that'll be the biggest part of your paper, and if you look at the rubric on Blackboard, that's going to give you the most amount of points. So if your paper only describes issues and doesn't talk about any solutions, you're not going to get a very good grade on this. So make sure you take your time to think about those solutions. The 4th thing you need is to describe the mission or goals of a particular organization that's helping to solve issues in your region. Now for this one, you can talk about one organization, you can talk about one organization for each issue, that's up to you, but I really want you to describe in depth one particular group that is really working to help the issues that you have in this particular region. So that'll be another source. You'll need to find, you can probably do a Google search for a nonprofit or a school group, some other foundation, organization, or some sort of initiative, fundraising initiative maybe, that's going to help this. You can get some ideas for that, certainly from Half the Sky. Our book talks about a lot of those, but that needs to be another part of your paper. Okay, so just to review, your paper will start with some demographic information about the place you chose. You're going to describe the 3 issues that you're researching in your place, in your region. You're going to reflect on solutions of ways to address these issues, including education as one of them, or part of all of them, and then global organizations or initiatives that will help. That's an important part. Okay, so that's your paper right there. Done. Once you've got all those things, you're good to go. I do want to say a few things though. This paper is a research paper, that therefore it has to be in APA style, 6th edition. So you can Google, Googling Nightsite or OWL, Purdue OWL, OWL will help you figure out how to cite sources. But it's very, very important, since I'm asking you to pull things from what you've read to be solutions, that you actually credit them to the reading that you did. Okay, you don't want to pass off ideas as your own, ideas for solutions as your own, especially if you took them from an article. So you can do things like, in order to cite things properly, you need to do things, a few different things. First of all, you want to always rephrase things in your own words. If you'd like to use a direct quote from a reading, that's wonderful, but you got to put quotation marks around it. You always need, even if you switch things in your own words though, you still need to attribute it to the original source. So you need to say, according to author here, something like that, or according to this article. That'll help the reader know this isn't my words, this is just me summarizing what I read. You need to put an in-text citation. So APA tells you how to do this, but in parentheses you always put the author and then the year that the article was written, or the year that the book was written. Then at the very end of your paper, you will have to include a full citation in a reference list. If this part is sounding overwhelming to you, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it, to meet with you in person before your paper is due, to talk to you about how to do in-text citations and references and how to avoid accidental plagiarism. The Writing Center in the 4th floor of French Hall can also really help with this too. In fact, the Writing Center is a great resource for this paper in general. They'll really be able to help you. So if you're really struggling with writing papers, if that's not one of your strengths or this is one of the first ones you've had to write, I highly suggest checking them out. They're totally free and they'll give you a lot of great help. So communicate with me though, that's the key. Communication is key. Lastly, you're always going to want to proofread your work, preview everything, check for spelling, punctuation, make sure it's all good, it's your best quality before you submit it and hand it in. This is an individual assignment, right? So you can share, if you know somebody that's doing this assignment in this course and you want to research the same place, that's okay if you share some of your resources and some of the articles that you found, but you're each going to write, your own individual assignment because this is a very important assignment for row 1. All row 1 assignments are worth 40 points, which is 40% of your grade. So this is a very big assignment. I want you to make sure that you're doing everything you need to do on it and that it's individually. You will submit it to the Dropbox on Blackboard. I will have a Dropbox posted there under the assignment info tab. The paper is due on Sunday, April 18th at 11:59 p.m. Don't email your assignment to me. Upload it to Blackboard by that point. If you are struggling to complete this assignment on time by the 18th, please communicate with me before the 18th. Let me know what you're struggling with. Set up a time to meet with me. Talk to me about it. If you're really super overwhelmed and you're tempted to plagiarize this paper, please do not do that. This is a very serious offense. Talk to me first. Communicate with me before something like this happens. It's very, very important. And I'm always open. I'm always there to listen and help you in whatever way I can. But make sure you think about this, plan a little bit ahead before April 18th. Okay? Once again, I will say that everything I just said in this video is also on Blackboard in the Regional Issues Paper assignment sheet. You can go right there and find it and read everything I just said to you. I highly recommend doing that also because at the end of that assignment sheet is the rubric, the exact rubric that I will be using to grade you in this assignment. What I would do if I were you is either once you've written the paper or as you're writing the paper, have the rubric pulled up. Look at the box that says exceeds expectations because that's the box that will get you full points. Make sure you have everything there in all of the boxes, and that way that'll be your best possible work. I've had papers handed to me before that are missing big chunks of the paper, and I know it's because they didn't look at the rubric or because they didn't read the assignment sheet. So now you have a video to help you as well. Please contact with me. Let me know if you need anything, and good luck with writing.